Hey everybody, how we all doing? Welcome back to another episode of 90 Minutes Strong.
What's up, everybody?
Pedro is back. Don't you
Yeah.
love it?
Yeah.
And we're gonna be trying to do these Tuesday shows every week from here on out, along with the pregame shows and postgame shows, if we can
Yeah.
actually get to those. But we're gonna stick to focusing on these Tuesday shows, so we can always have like some kind of weekly roundup and things like that. And today is actually a really good day for those because the MLS released the rest of the regular season schedule.
That's right.
So it's pretty big because now we know the opponents going forward, and knowing those opponents going forward, we can know what to expect. And now we can kind of gauge where we think we're going to finish in the East, especially because this year, due to COVID and all these crazy unprecedented circumstances, 10 out of 14 teams in the conference
Unheard
will
of.
make the playoffs.
Unheard of. And
Unheard of.
it's funny how different, how much of a difference a couple of weeks make. I remember last time we were together, I literally said, we're going to come in last. It's over. Nothing's going to happen. This team needs a lot of work. Now we're talking about September 22nd. We are in 11th place.
1 point off of the 10th.
1 point off 10th. We got Higuain coming in probably next week to play.
Yep.
So that fills in the goal problems. And they're starting to score goals.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about your boy really quickly. Let's get a little bit of a roundup. We didn't get a post game show out. A little bit of a roundup from the last game out against Atlanta. It was our third time playing Atlanta, surprisingly.
I just love playing Atlanta.
I mean, listen, we haven't lost to them, so I'll take it.
Against the champs from 2 years ago. That's impressive.
And I mean, they're not the team that they were, but I will take 3 points whenever I can get them, however I can get them. And we'll talk about the schedule, but we are going to see them even one more time, which is awesome. But look, last game out, it was a 2-1 victory for Inter Miami. All the goals coming really early. And the game winner was decided by yours truly, Breck Shea.
That's right.
You like what you're seeing out of him?
I love Breck Shea. I've always loved Breck Shea. And then just seeing him actually score and help Miami finally get a win. It was great. It was great to see that from him. I remember telling you. I remember saying this in the beginning at the start. Like, hey, Breck Shea is a guy that it's like an underrated signing for Miami. He was supposed to play for the USL team. Ended up playing for the MLS club, and he's doing well. And I think it's funny too. It's funny to mention that Aguelo's also played well. Because because now he realizes he doesn't have as much time as he thought he did. Now with Higuain coming, and so he's like, I gotta start scoring goals too. So he just starts like 2 minutes in, scores the goal.
Yeah, it was. Listen, I'll be honest. I'm gonna have to eat my words because for a long time I've been hating on Juan Agudelo ever since he was subbed on. In the DC United game after Robbie Robinson got hurt, I said Juan Agudelo does not belong in MLS anymore. I said that straight up, and I meant it, and I felt that way all the way through last match. Mm-hmm. And look, for some reason, Diego Alonso kept on giving him the start. He had one goal in the Orlando tournament, and that goal, proved to be nothing because we lost against Orlando in that first match, but a goal nonetheless. Yeah. And then he comes out with this performance with a goal early on in a game that was super important. It got us to where we are in the standings now, and probably one of our better performers on the day. So shout out to you, Juan Agudelo. I mean, nobody wanted to be Gonzalo Higuain's backup more than him on the day. So look, kudos to you. I'm sorry for all the crap talking I did to you. Hopefully, you can be that impactful sub, but I do want to mention Breck Shea because you are always the one to say these MLS guys need to play. These MLS veterans need to play. They know the league and they have the experience. Yeah. And Breck Shea's proving that. Mm-hmm. Breck Shea is starting out on the left wing for Inter Miami, where there's a DP that could play in that position. There's a star rookie that could play in that position. Pizarro has even played in that position. But Breck Shea, the one who signed for a third division side, has come in, taken a starting role, has 2 goals, and I mean he was a man of the match performance. He had a man of the match performance our last time out in a 2-1 win to put us where we are now. Wow. I mean, the goal that he scored was massive because it was the winner. And that was one thing that I talked about that he's such a big body.
Yeah.
And he's tall on the back post. And if Lewis Morgan is on the right side whipping him in crosses, you're going to find him on the back post eventually. It was Pizarro, I think, who had the assist because he had a ball on the byline and it kind of went over everybody's heads. But Breck Shea was just there at the back post. It's a really good. He fits his team really well, especially with a left back in Ben Sweat who likes to get forward. Breck Shea has left back experience, so he can defend, he can cover. So many things to Breck Shea's game fits his team perfectly. I want to see him being the starter going out, and I never thought I would say that when he originally signed for Fort Lauderdale CF or when he was called up. I didn't think he was going to be a starter, but I love this guy.
I don't think anybody thought he was going to be a starter. He didn't. He needed to prove himself after all the injuries, and he's proven himself. Yeah, it's not ideal. You have other players that could play that position, but again, the MLS experience does help. The MLS experience might not be flashy, might not be what we were promised, but it helps. Having a guy like Breck Shea in there helps Pizarro and the rest of the squad to play better. And this was one of the better games I've seen from Inter Miami all season long. It was consistent throughout. They had more shots than Atlanta, more shots on target, less shots off target. They blocked more shots. The only thing that they didn't have more than Atlanta was possession, but that doesn't matter at the end because they got the 2-1 win.
That, and I mean, even, I don't know what the possession stats were. I would assume 55-45 without looking at them.
It was 57-42.
So for me, that I had to talk with Martin about stats in soccer. When you go back and look at that game, Inter Miami was in control, and you never really felt like they were out of it. I got really comfortable watching that game. That was the first time as an Inter Miami supporter I have been comfortable watching a game from them with a lead. I felt fine. So look, the stats, were there to an extent. Didn't have possession, but we still controlled. And like you said, extremely organized and consistent throughout the entire 90 minutes. We haven't seen that yet from this team. They didn't fold. There weren't too many individual mistakes, which is something that was really good. Other than the actual Andres Reyes red card or yellow card, which I'll talk about later on. But it was a really good game, and I hope we can see that tomorrow against Red Bulls.
Yeah, it'd be good. It'd be good to see that to see if we can keep this momentum going and getting another win against a team that is beatable. A lot of these teams are beatable.
Yeah. So speaking of all the teams that are beatable, I'm gonna go through the schedule here. What we have coming up. Yeah. So we know tomorrow is against New York Red Bulls at home, which is good for us. We have not lost at home yet, I don't think.
Which doesn't matter, but yeah.
Which doesn't matter, but it's something we have to hold on to. And then Sunday, we will be playing the Philadelphia Union in Philly. So that's actually a tough game. Philly's been one of the better teams in MLS thus far. We had a close game against them in the Orlando tournament. One of their better players has been rumored to actually leave. Brendan Aronson, the youngster, has been rumored to make a move over to Europe, I think to Salzburg or Leipzig or something like that. One of the Red Bull teams, either in Austria or Germany, because he is a really good youngster and he can develop out there in Europe, which would be good to see for the league, but even better for Inter Miami if we don't have to play against him. On October 3rd, we'll go against NYCFC. October 7th, New York Red Bulls. October 10th, Houston Dynamo. October 14th, again against Atlanta United. Yeah. Those last two games are at home, by the way. October 17th, it'll be at Montreal, but that game is actually going to be played in New Jersey at a neutral site because of the COVID-19 protocols and how Canada is probably a lot more strict than we are. October 24th against Orlando City here at Lockhart. October 28th against FC Dallas at Dallas. November 1st at Toronto, which is actually going to be held in Connecticut. And then November 8th against FC Cincinnati at home. Looking at this, I'll get to my thoughts. I have a nice little prediction, I think. But do you think that this is a schedule that is, makes it feasible for us to get into the playoffs?
I see 5 wins easily on this schedule.
Wow. 5 wins.
Yeah.
Not including these 2 games that I just talked about? The next 2?
Yeah.
Okay, so the ones that were just released.
Yeah. I see a win against Houston.
Okay.
I see a win against Atlanta. I see a win against Orlando, even though Orlando's playing very well. It's a pride thing at this point. I see a win there. I see a win against FC Cincinnati. And I see a win against FC Dallas.
Totally agree.
That's what it looks like to me. Obviously, Grant of those, Dallas might be the only one that I would have a grain of salt with because they are in third place in the West right now and they are playing very well. But I see Miami getting that win.
Fair enough.
But like we say about assuming things, we can't really make a great prediction because you never know what happens in soccer. But if it stays this way and they win at least 5 of those games, it looks like Inter Miami can make the playoffs in their first year.
Yeah, I think one of those big games would be against both Atlanta and FC Cincinnati since they are closer to the bottom. I don't know where they'll be at the time we play them, but those are 2 to look out for because
right now it's pretty much a tie between Nashville, Cincinnati, Miami, Atlanta, and DC United.
They're all super close, which I wish we got to play DC United.
Chicago Fire. They have 9. They have 9 points, and they're only like 2 games behind.
I was surprised not to see them on the schedule, if I'm honest with you.
It's an Eastern Conference team in the east side of the state of the country. Doesn't make sense why we're not playing them, but we're gonna go play a team like what was it, Montreal,
Dallas and Houston,
yeah.
So it doesn't make too much sense, but the MLS does what the MLS wants. That's how it goes. So you'll notice New York Red Bulls, we play them tomorrow, and then we play them again on the 7th. So that is another one of those things where, okay, we see the one performance, now we can prepare for the other one.
Mm-hmm.
And then another key one for me is the NYCFC game. Lost to them in a really heartbreaking loss in the tournament. Yeah. We could have moved on to the knockout stages, which would have been massive for us. But we lost, and now they're going to be coming down to Fort Lauderdale to play us. I think that's a game that's a winnable.
Yeah.
And my short little prediction here for these games is every game at home, I expect nothing less than 3 points. NYCFC, Houston, Atlanta, Orlando, and Cincinnati, I think those are all 3-point games.
Yeah, I'm not going to say you're wrong, but I'm not going to go agreeing with you.
No, it's an out there prediction. We don't we haven't gotten 3 points all the time, but with Higuain coming in, I'm just that confident.
Yeah, I mean, again, it all depends what kind of Higuain we get.
Correct.
And it does take a while for them to get accustomed. Look at what happened to Pizarro. But I see what you're saying. I mean, heck, Higuain in at 50% is better than Juan Aguadelo.
Yeah, 100%.
So I understand that. I just don't see them winning 5 of the games at home. There has to be a game they lose there. And to me, it's either going to be the game against New York City FC or the Atlanta game. Those 2 games I can see them losing.
I think for me, it would most likely be Orlando. I think Orlando is a lot stronger than Inter Miami fans give them credit for because, like you said, it's a pride thing. But yeah, I mean, you could be totally right.
I mean, again, it's all a toss up at this point. But Orlando, I'll tell you what, this is the first Orlando City team I've watched that looks good. They usually don't look very good, and this
their attack is nice.
Yes, this team's a good Orlando team. So, and that's why I think this is a win for Miami because they won the first game. Orlando won the first game. Mm-hmm. Miami won the second game in a comeback fashion. Orlando won the next game.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's just poetic to have Miami win this one. So then they tie the series, and all the people from Orlando can't talk trash. I mean, they're still gonna make fun of the whole Fort Lauderdale thing. I get that. But you tie them in the entire season, 2-2, call it even, call it a day.
I
just think that's what's going to end up happening with the whole Orlando game. But it might be one of the best games to watch.
That I would say is definitely true. I think that is going to be one of the most fun games to watch, especially because is this Orlando's first time coming here? Was the second game here as well?
Game, yeah. This will be their second time coming to Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, well then
the comeback loss,
and maybe by then, if Broward County gets its act together and can figure out some kind of protocols, fans will be in the stadium. You never know.
I mean, heck, if you can have Dolphin fans at the stadium, we can have some Miami fans at the stadium. I mean,
I got into a little thing with somebody on Twitter today about it, and they were saying, why isn't Inter Miami doing this? Why aren't their fans get their act, whatever? I'm like, look, it's not about Inter Miami CF, the club, not wanting fans at their stadium.
Definitely want the fans.
It's Broward County.
Yeah.
And when you look at all of these other professional teams that are playing down here or the college teams, they have fans at stadiums because guess what? That stadium, Hard Rock, is in Miami Gardens. It's in Miami-Dade County. When it comes to Broward County like Orlando as well, or whatever county, which is Orange County or something like that. And then you have like Tallahassee and Gainesville, all these college teams that are having games at their stadiums as well. It's not Broward County, and Broward County has their own rules, their own guidelines. That is preventing us from doing that. I promise you 100% if Inter Miami could have fans at the stadium, they would 100% do it.
It's not Inter Miami's fault.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go back and I'm going to go and defend Inter Miami. Even if they could have fans, shout out to them for not having fans, because a team like the Dolphins having fans makes kind of a little bit of sense, but at the same time, to me, it doesn't make any sense. But because it's such a big stadium, they can quote unquote separate them, even though I saw some of the photos and it was the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
People were not following protocol. People were not wearing their masks. People were just doing whatever they wanted. I understand. I'm not going to get into that today, because if I do, I'll get in a soapbox. But it's you can watch it on TV. I get it. I understand. Listen, I understand. Not going to a soccer game stinks. I understand not going to watch your sport, your team live stinks. But hey, if you can sit there and watch the Heat play inside an arena, like a gym arena in Orlando, you can sit there and watch Inter Miami play. Because if you can't do that, you're just not a fan of soccer. Because
yeah, I agree.
You can sit there and go, oh yeah, the Heat are going to go to the finals, but you can't go to the finals this year. It's going to be on TV. You're going to watch it.
Yep.
So if you're going to watch that, you can totally watch Inter Miami game.
If they actually are, like a lot of the teams in the NFL, college sports, you're seeing all these stadiums that are not enforcing rules correctly. And I think that there was even talk of that happening in Orlando when Miami played up there.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So, if they're not going to take these protocols seriously, maybe there is something to do with the club being a little hesitant about it. I'm not totally sure. But in my opinion, if Inter Miami CF wanted to do it, they would have it done.
Yeah,
they would have it done.
Yeah,
it's just on the county at this point and figuring out the rules for how to reopen. It's an 18,000 seat stadium at 20%. That's a little less than 1,000 people. Like 3,000 people or something like that. It's not 4,000 people, something like that. So look, it should work. I think they'll give the priority to the season ticket holders, if I'm totally honest.
Yeah, it would.
Which hopefully I get that call, because I am one of them. So we're going to transition over here. We talked briefly about him and what he might do for this team and how we are excited for what he will bring in the win column and the goals column. Quickly, I'll get to Anthony Manzana here about Gonzalo Higuain. He said he recently read an article talking about Higuain and said we got him on a free transfer. Did we get them for free or just on a cheap contract? So basically, the way soccer works around the world is, okay, a player is tied down to a contract. And in order for a club to acquire him before the contract ends, you have to pay a certain transfer fee in order for that contract to be brought over. Now, Juventus was trying to get rid of Higuain. They did not want him in the club anymore. Same thing with Matuidi. They don't want him at the club anymore. When Pirlo came in, he wants to euthanize the squad, all these kinds of things. So Higuain was supposed to go out. Days before Higuain was announced to Inter Miami, Juventus put out a post saying that they have come to an agreement to terminate the contract. So then, kind of like how Giannis Antetokounmpo will be next year as a free agent, you can just bring him to your team for free without having to worry about contract from another team. So no trades involved, no money transferring involved. It's just he's brought here if he can sign a contract with you. Now, that contract that he signs with Inter Miami CF has nothing to do with the Juventus contract, and it's just to do with Inter Miami. Rumored to be about $7 million per year, which is a lot of money. One of the highest in MLS, I'm pretty sure. So he's going to be a designated player. But look, he's here on quite a luxurious contract. And I mean, we dreamt of it being as a TAM or GAM kind of player, but it was always going to be DP in hindsight. But yeah, so that's how that works. He is going to be paid a lot of money. It's just that the club didn't have to go through financial negotiations with the club in Italy. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about his impact on the field. No more boring money talk. Gonzalo Higuain, the striker, one of the most, world-known strikers, I would say, on a national scale, on a club scale in Europe, has played for Chelsea, AC Milan, Juve, Napoli, all these big teams that you hear about over in Europe, Real Madrid as well. He was a part of them. He was the starting striker for all of these teams at some point. This guy is a massive deal, and Inter Miami have had problems scoring. I mean, we have had a couple of good games scoring, but it's never been consistent. This guy will bring consistency, and I talked about it on our earlier pregame show. For me, he has Zlatan Ibrahimovic impact like when he joined LA Galaxy. You think I'm right?
I think so. The only difference is that he's not as well known in the to the average fan. Let me correct
Yeah.
that. The average fan, he's not as well known as a Zlatan is. He is a guy that scored 44 goals for Juventus not 44 goals, 11 goals in 44 appearances for Juventus last year. He's a scorer. He scores. And it's what we talked about. It's what we've been talking about since the MLS is back tournament. Miami needs to score goals. This guy scores goals.
Yeah.
Simple as that, I think. I don't think there's anything else that needs to be talked about at this point. It's like, hey, listen, this guy scores. Find him the ball and let's get it done.
That's the thing too about this team. It was all about us not being able to create chances or those good looks for a striker and not being able to get the ball at his feet. But once Matuidi joined, that kind of changed, and we were able to be more consistent on that side on the attacking side of the ball, which is really good. One thing you're going to have to look forward to is, yes, the crosses from both Breck Shea and Lewis Morgan into Gonzalo Higuain could be very lethal, but so could the play down the middle. With Pizarro in behind him and Matuidi playing behind Pizarro, that 1-2-3 going up the midfield into open space could be huge. Yes. Matuidi has played with Higuain. He was just his former teammate at Juventus, and now they're playing together again. I don't know how many games they actually played together this season or this past season, but Matuidi is going to have a big impact, and so is Higuain if we can get the ball at his feet. He's good with his back to goal. He's good in front of goal. He's good, clinically when it comes to balls dropping to him in the box. All around, a great finisher. He's not super flashy, but he has more technical ability than you can actually imagine.
And that's where I was getting at with the whole Zlatan comparison. Star-wise, like the star value, whatever you want to call it, people call it nowadays, he isn't a Zlatan. He's not going to take out a page in the Sun and say, "You're welcome, Miami." Yeah. He's not going to do that. Yeah. But this is a guy that throughout his career, in the 632 games he's played throughout his entire career, he scored 306 goals.
It's a lot.
This guy can score. Not only that, he assisted in 101 goals. So he knows how to play the game, and it might not be the way that it might not be flashy, but he scores. And again, it's like I'm a broken record. You got to score.
Yeah.
And they just started doing that now, which is exciting. The team started to click, and now to have him come in as well, it just adds another flavor to this team that was missing, and it's going to be exciting to see that. How much is he gonna perform? We can't. I mean, you can probably try, but I can't take a guess because it might take a couple of weeks. He might come in and he might do very well, or he might come in and struggle, because it's not going to be the same level of speed that he's accustomed to. But the better players can get it done under pressure.
One thing about strikers is they are so heavily judged on their goal scoring record. So if we don't see like 2 goals in the first couple of matches from him, it's going to be like, okay, what's happening? But
that's
the thing about Higuain is that MLS defenses are going to have to worry about him, and they're going to have to game plan against Gonzalo Higuain. That's just how it's going to be. I mean, he's a world-renowned striker. You have to game plan around him. If somebody of that caliber was coming against Inter Miami, I'd be freaking out. We haven't seen that to that point, other than maybe like Nani, but there's no one that we've had to come up against that we've had to game plan hard for individually. Higuain is one of those players to me. I think MLS defenses are going to have to worry about him. Chances have been better for Inter Miami, which is good. And I think that we do have the ability now to get the ball on his feet in the final third of the pitch, which is massive. We saw that against Atlanta. I mean, we kind of controlled possession around the box at times, which we hadn't done at all before. So that's going to be big. I saw that the spread for his not the spread, but the over under for his goals scored was 10 to finish out the season. I think it's going to be higher than that. I think it's going to be around 15 to 20. And I know that seems crazy, but if this guy plays tomorrow, which I don't think he will, but if he starts playing on Sunday, there's about 10 games after that. I could see over a goal a game for Gonzalo Higuain. I'm just being totally honest with you. I could.
Well, for starters, I don't think he's going to start playing until mid next week. We're still waiting on his visa to come in. We're still waiting for him for the transfer. I don't know what they call it.
Some international stuff.
The ITC, international transfer clearance, to be approved, which usually takes about a month. But MLS probably is going to make that quicker. I'm talking about because I do it for lower division. It takes about a month. But MLS probably has their inner workings there, and it can make it go quicker. I don't think he's going to score 20 goals.
I would say around 15. I guess 20 is a little ambitious, but I would say around 15, to be honest. Over 10. I'm going to say over 10.
If you do the math, right, let's say he starts playing on October 3rd.
Okay. There's 9 games, right?
That's one. That's 9 games. You think he's going to score 2 goals a game? That's 18. If he scores 2 goals a game,
that's 18.
Single game, that's 19 goals. He's going to do that? I highly doubt that.
Okay, 18's a lot. 18 is a lot. Look, I've said it. I'm gonna say 15.
Austin, if he scores 2 goals every game from October 3rd to November 8th,
I'm not saying he's gonna do that.
I'll give you $1,000.
Okay, put that on the record, please.
2 goals every single game
from when he starts playing.
From October.
Wait, okay, on average or actually every game?
No. You said you think he's gonna score 20 goals this year.
I said 15 to 20.
No. You said 20.
15 to 20. 15 to 20.
You said 20. I'm like, that's
look. Higuain is going to score 15 to 20 goals, and I think that it'll be closer to 15. I am a little ambitious, so it's going to be a little closer to 15, but it won't. It'll be closer to 15 than it will be to 10. How about that?
I don't know. It might be 10. Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say 11, just to
clip it. Thank you, Michael.
I don't think he's going to score 2 goals against New York, 2 goals against the Red Bulls, 2 goals.
I am going to be Higuain's biggest fan. Let me tell you.
You know what? If he scores 2 goals every single game, comes FC Cincinnati game, I'm going to be cheering against Miami.
I can't imagine. But look, okay, 2 goals a game is a lot. I get it. And he probably won't play until at least the Philadelphia game and probably the game, the New York City FC game down here.
Yeah, to me, to be personally, to be conservative about it, I think he's going to start playing on the 3rd. And just said,
is that a midweek game too?
October 3rd, I believe.
I don't know if it's midweek or a Saturday or Sunday or something, but
October 3rd is, I'm telling you right now, not Tuesday. No, Nope,
it's a Saturday.
Saturday game, yeah.
All right, well, Saturday under the lights at Lockhart. Okay, I'll take a debut then, right?
But there's no fans, so it doesn't even matter where he's playing.
Well, they're gonna show up anyway. I mean, we've seen that the supporters group have gone onto the southeast corner, and they bang drums, they shoot off fireworks. So
cool. That's cool.
I mean, hopefully they're all wearing masks.
Did you know that Gonzalo's brother plays in MLS as well?
Yeah, for DC, if I'm not mistaken.
Blew my mind. Yeah, I was like, wait.
That's why I said earlier. I was like, I'm surprised we're not playing DC United. I know we played them earlier, but why is there no Higuain derby? Why aren't we having that game? MLS?
Great, yeah. Older brother versus younger brother. Oh, that's the stuff that sells tickets.
And MLS always loves to do that. So I'm not sure.
You can't sell tickets.
That's true. But at least TV ratings, we see that they care about that too.
Yeah, they care about that.
All right. Well,
Jonathan, I understand, Jonathan. I think he will tear up the league, but I don't think he's going to tear up the league this year. So I don't want to sound like the guy that doesn't agree.
It's half a season. I mean, less than half a season, really.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. I don't disagree. I 100% believe that he's going to tear up this league. I just don't think it's going to be now because he has 9 games left. If he had the whole season, the preseason, training with the team consistently, he tears up the league. He might be the best player in this league, 100%. I just don't think that with 9 games left, he started training with the team today. Before he was training by himself because of the COVID-19 protocol. Started training with a full squad today, which is exciting, but it would be a week instead of having a whole preseason with them.
And that's the thing too about a striker. He has to score goals in order to get the recognition. Yes. He's not someone like Matuidi who can come in and actually control a game when the ball's always on his feet. So you don't really need, that whole training with the team because this guy's got class. Matuidi has class beyond belief, and he is so able to get the ball around fluidly. It's a little bit different. So yes, it might take time for Higuain.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think a guy a forward like that needs time to adjust to what he's doing. I don't doubt it. He's going to score. I have no doubt. I don't want people telling me like, oh, you don't believe. I'm like 100% believe. But listen, Baby Yoda does not believe.
He's checking the background, huh?
He's just chilling there, like, no, does not believe it's going to happen. But it could. Highly doubt it, though. Highly doubt it.
Okay.
More than 9 games.
Well, listen, you better hope not because $1,000 is on the line. But he will score goals. I promise you he's going to score goals. He's going to impact this team massively.
Oh, for sure.
And it's going to be we're not telling you not to be excited about him. As a realist, yes, he might not score this crazy number of goals, but his impact is going to be massive.
But that's what's important to know. Like, don't just because he doesn't score 2 goals a game doesn't mean he's not impactful to the team.
The 3 points will come a lot easier with Higuain on the field.
Yes, he's going to be a player that just kind of like you mentioned earlier, just by being on the field, people are going to take him more seriously. So if they start double teaming him, let's say they want to like double him, that leaves a player wide open.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And imagine how much that Pizarro can do by himself without somebody defending him.
That's what we've been trying to do this whole year.
It's not about how many goals Higuain will score. It's about how many goals he will help produce.
Exactly. That's goal, assist, or just his play off the ball. Anything.
If he plays and scores a goal, but Miami wins by 4, and he assists or is part of the play to score those other 3 goals, that's something that this team's been missing.
And I think that this fan base is smart enough to understand, what someone like that can bring and what he will bring, other than just goals. Hopefully, which he's going to get those. Like we said, he's going to get those.
Yeah, and he's a big name. He is the kind of guy that he's not the guy that we thought you were going to get, right? Because you thought you're going to get some big flashy name.
This works for me,
right? But he works.
Yeah,
he's the guy that is needed right now. You don't need a Suarez right now. You need a guy that can come in and score. Already has connections with some of the teammates.
Correct.
It's good to have him there.
Being Argentinian is another big thing too. There's a lot of Argentinians on this team. Oh, yeah. So that is another massive thing. And then bringing Matuidi's old teammate, his English isn't very good. As much as I love Matuidi, he does struggle with English. He's getting better. And he's just such a down-to-earth, genuine guy. It's so cool to see one of his old teammates here to, help him, get comfortable. So that's really, really, really cool to see. Let's I guess wrap it up here. I'm going to get your prediction for the next, 12 games or 11?
12 games?
11. I want a full-on record.
Prediction.
I want a full, you said 5 wins, but I want a full-on record, wins, draws, and losses from Pedro. And we're going to clip that as well, Michael.
Okay. So October 3rd is already next Saturday, right? So the only 2 games I was missing are the game against tomorrow and the Saturday.
All right, let's start here. Do we win tomorrow?
Yeah. I think we win tomorrow.
Do we win in Philly?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to what I was saying. So we win tomorrow, we lose in Philly. I think we beat New York. I think we beat the Red Bulls. I can't say New York because they're both New York. So I think we beat New York City FC. I see a win against the Red Bulls. I see a loss against the Dynamo. A win against Atlanta. A win against Montreal. A win against Orlando. A loss against Dallas. A loss against Toronto. And a win against Cincinnati.
So that was 6 wins.
I think 6 wins. Again, these wins could also be considered draws. I just hate like guessing for draws. So I usually say win or loss.
Well, yeah.
I think the wins. Okay, so let's do this again. Games that could be a draw: Orlando.
Okay.
Houston could be a draw. Houston, Orlando could be a draw, and Dallas can be a draw.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
But this schedule is a lot easier than I thought it would be.
Yes, when it came out today, I was pretty happy with it. I'll be honest.
That's great, and it goes back to think if this actually means MLS did it on purpose to have Miami in the playoffs.
Which is really cool because Orlando has never made the playoffs in their entire MLS, life.
Talk about bragging rights, right? First season in, you can play in the playoffs.
Yes, and actually, I should mention teams that are seeded 7 through 10 in the East will have a play-in game in order to make it an 8.
Yeah, like a wild card.
So it's still playoffs. Nonetheless, it's playoffs. So
listen, the Marlins make the wild card this year. They still in the playoffs.
Yes,
and go fish. But yeah, I see them. I'm a lot more excited about this team today than I was a week and a half ago. How about that?
Listen, you've heard me throughout the show, my ups and downs with this team. You know exactly what I've been through and what you've been through. This is a really good point for this team right now. I totally agree. Since I put you on the spot, I'm going to put myself on the spot. Ready? Win tomorrow against New York. Loss against Philly. Win against NYCFC. I'm going to say a draw against the Red Bulls in New York. I think we win against the Dynamo. We win against Atlanta. We draw to Montreal. No, I'll say we lose to Montreal, beat Orlando, lose to Dallas, lose to Toronto, win to FC Cincinnati. So I'll take all home games as a win, 2 draws on the road, and 2 losses on the road. That's me.
That's fair. It's not a bad shot. It's funny because I'm usually the realist, and I'm like, it's not bad. I would probably say the same thing.
But keep in mind, that is a playoff push, and that is a playoff performance from this team. So
again, everything's playoff now at this point. It's interesting that don't quote me on this, but every Miami team, sports team in Miami could make the playoffs this year, except for the Panthers.
The Dolphins. Ugh.
Yeah. 2 of the teams that no one thought would make the playoffs could make the playoffs. How about that?
If you told me we were making the playoffs when we started 0-5, it'd be like, okay, yeah, you get out of here.
If I told you the Marlins would make the playoffs this year, you'd say that I was high on drugs.
And then if you told me they were going to make the playoffs after the Philadelphia Phillies incident when all the players had COVID, no, it just doesn't make sense.
That's what I'm saying. It's 2020, man. 2020, am I right? The year that anything can happen. It's the year the Marlins can win the World Series, the Heat can win the NBA championship, and the Inter Miami can win the MLS Cup.
It's a blessing to be a South Florida sports fan right now. Let me tell you.
Oh, man, listen. If they make the finals, that to me is a win. Going into the bubble was like, okay, everything's in the air. But at the beginning of the season, you did not think the Heat were going to make it to the finals. Nobody did. No offense to anybody, but I did not see the Heat going to the finals.
And if somebody has that prediction, show it to me, and I will
show me proof that you did this before this happened.
We are very happy they're doing it because it's great for us. So
all teams that have done the playoffs except the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Love it.
Look, Michael, I know you're doing the Miami series and you're going through all the simulations. I wouldn't be surprised if all the simulations, other than the one you're going to do for the Jaguars, had us going 0-16 almost, maybe 1-15. To be totally honest with you, but it's fine. It's the Dolphins, and Tua will be here. Tua will be playing eventually, and
Here's my bold prediction.
Okay,
I think the Dolphins are going to do better than my Eagles this year.
You're an Eagles fan.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, the Eagles suck.
Yeah, they do. I think the Dolphins are going to do better than the Eagles this year.
Wow, that would be nice.
I wouldn't count the Dolphins out too much.
I just finished the Jaguars one. We lost again. Oh, well, never mind. 0-16 on the simulations for Madden. There we go. Appreciate that, Michael.
What are you doing? Did they have one win, please?
Not even.
One.
He's going week by week and doing all the simulations and doing it 4 game, and now we're 0-3 in simulations, and we might be 0-3 in real life. We'll see.
Can the Eagles win one game, Michael? Let me know.
Let's give him an Eagles simulation on the backside.
Give me a win. Give me one win this year. That's all I care about.
All right, we're getting delusional here. We're gonna wrap it up. We kind of moved on to the NFL somehow, but anyway, Inter Miami, it's great. Higuain's here. Schedule was released. We went through it. We're excited. We think that we have a really good chance at the playoffs. Like we said, shows every Tuesday, hopefully, along with pregame stuff and postgame stuff. Hopefully, if not, it'll be articles. I'm going to get back on that too. So yeah, make sure you guys stay in tune. Pedro, thanks for coming back on again. It's happy to see your face.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for having me on again, Austin. It's a blast. I'm excited. It's an exciting time to be an Inter Miami fan for sure.
Totally agree. All right. Thanks, guys, so much. Catch you tomorrow for the pregame show, and then Sunday for another pregame show, and then back here Tuesday with Pedro for our 90-minute strong talking show. I don't know what to call it, but
90-minute strong talking show.
Something like that. We'll do better. Anyway,
we'll brainstorm ideas, but talking show is up there right now.
Yeah, it's number one. So if you have any ideas, put it right in the comments. All right, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Bye.